This is the best point drifting car in all of Forza Horizon 5. And today I'm going to be showing you guys 5 more essential cars that you need if you're a big fan of Forza Horizon 5. Oh my goodness, look at that recovery. So diving into the first one here, it is the Hoonicorn V2. And what's so great about this car isn't necessarily for the point drifting scores, but if you go over to the car mastery, you'll notice it has this Hoon It Harder, which gives you a skill multiplier of 8 times, which is the second highest in the game. The highest coming in from the PLP 50, which you can't really get a high drift score on unless you're better than me, which is probably all of you watching, so maybe you should try the PLP 50. But the reason you want a higher skill chain multiplier is so that you can get a higher skill chain score. It earns you more skill points. And let's just be honest, the Hoonicorn's an awesome car. I have a horrible tune on this thing right now, though. I think it's one that I made, no surprise. And you're just gonna be able to get a much higher score than all your friends, because that is something that shows up on different leaderboards. So if that's something you've been trying to get, or something you didn't even know existed, as you see at this top, it says 20,000 times 5. That can go all the way up to times 8. That's the score I'm talking about. So you definitely need this car in your arsenal if you ever plan on trying to increase that score. Look at that drift. It's just a beautiful car. But let's dive into the next one. And next up is a beautiful car. It's the Willys Jeep. Yep, the Willys Jeep. Only a $40,000 car from the auto show, and this car is on the list today because it's the best point drifting car, but for different kinds of points. I know that might be confusing, because I'm not talking about the ones at the top of the screen there. I'm talking about the points you get from doing drift zones like that. And listen, I don't know what it is about this car that is so insanely good for point drifting, but it goes 90 degrees sideways and just like holds that angle. I'll try and see if I can show it off here. It does take a bit of practicing to get used to, but like once you are used to it, I'm not even good at it. Look at that angle we got all the way through there. It obviously wasn't a high score because I haven't practiced with this car, but all the pros say that this is the car you want to use for increasing point drifting scores, and I think it's pretty obvious as to why. And for such a cheap price, it's kind of crazy to not have one of these in your arsenal, even if you don't plan on breaking all your scores with it. But like, look at that. It's just... I'm not even touching the thumbsticks and it was holding that angle. This car is insane. Let's move on to the next one. Now, next up, you already have 2 drift cars. So now you need an insane drag beast, and what better than the Ford Supervan 3? Now, it's not the absolute fastest drag car in the game, because if the Diablo GTR has the perfect tune on it, that will beat this. But any drag car that doesn't have the perfect tune on, this car beats, and it looks insanely cool. At 12.7, that's only half a second slower than the fastest drag car in the game. It's cheap, so it's very easy for anyone watching to get, and it just has, in my opinion, some of the coolest paint jobs in any car in this entire game, and it handles pretty well. Even though it has a drag tune on it, you can still kind of like take corners decently well. Now, don't go entering very many races with this, because as soon as the corners get tighter than like just a slight bank, you're kind of gonna be in trouble, as you can see right here. Like, it's not gonna take that corner. But just for driving around the map, it's a great car. Everyone needs to have one. So let's move on to number 4. And with number 4, look, you can hate me for it all you want, but if you're a new player, this is probably one of the best cars you can have in your arsenal, because it's an excellent race car. It's a good car meet car. It's one of the best drag cars in the game. It has a top speed of like 280 miles per hour. It's an insane drift car. It can literally just do everything. Now, unfortunately, I happen to have a top speed drag tune on this car, so it's not taking corners for me at the moment. But all you have to do is change the tune out on this car, and you kind of have a car that can do everything. Now, if you disagree with me, let me know why down below, but I think this is an excellent car for everybody to have at least one of. And look, I get it. It's a Supra. It's got the stereotypical bad name behind it, but it's never served me wrong. I get it's kind of a cringy car, but I don't think one person could give a really good reason other than it's cringy as to why you shouldn't have one in your garage. So definitely make sure you pick one up, because they're dirt cheap too. I think they're under 50 grand. But anyways, let's move into the final car on today's list. And for the final car on today's list, we have the McLaren Senna. Obviously, because this is the best track car or racing car in the entire game. You saw that corner we just took? I was accelerating the whole time. I didn't even have to let off the gas because this car can take almost any corner going almost any speed. I don't know what kind of magnets they put on this thing to hug it to the ground, but like it just doesn't lose traction. I think I might even be able to do this going, yeah, no problem going 200 miles per hour. This might be pushing it right here. Oh my goodness, we almost did that. It was pretty much taking that entire turn, and that was like a hard 90-degree turn. Now, the beautiful thing about this car is you probably have one in your arsenal, because I think Forza gives it to new players. I'm not completely sure, so don't quote me on that. And if you don't have one, just buy one. They're so cheap and absolutely worth your money. If you take this into most circuit races and you have the right the Don Juan song tune that has the best handling is the tune you want on this car, because let me tell you, it has the best handling. As long as you have that on this car, chances are you're never gonna lose a race. It's gonna feel like you're playing Forza Horizon 5 on easy mode. Like, look at those corners it's taking. The car is not gonna fight you at all. It has incredible acceleration, and it sounds and looks pretty cool. So let me know if you guys agree with my list down below. I think I made some pretty good arguments as to why these cars are on there. And if you want another list of 5 more cars I think you guys should have in Forza Horizon 5, let me know that down below. But as always, we'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Peace.